Do you like anime? Do you like stickers? If the answer to either of those questions were yes, or you're just an otaku like me, go check out sukawaii.com. Here, you can look at all of these beautiful stickers and other anime merch and accessories. They've got My Hero Academia, they've got 7 Deadly Sins, they've got Jujutsu Kaisen, they've even got little cuties like this. Who is that? I don't know, but I'm buying them. I bought some myself and they're amazing and adorable. Here, look, using the link in the description below, use promo code BAZAAR5 for 5% off of your purchase. That's promo code BAZAAR5 for 5% off of your purchase. I mean, seriously, look how cute! Baby boys. A Todoroki x Bakugou x Midoriya x Reader fanfic by Goldfish Bull. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and a comment down below. But without further ado, let's begin. Run me through it again? You ask, rubbing your chin. Bakugou grumbles. You fucking deaf? Stop it, Kachan. Midoriya voices calmly, putting his elbows on the counter while you served up breakfast. Shoto is at the fridge getting orange juice and pouring everyone a glass. Okay, so we're going to infiltrate UA at the left of the building where security isn't as tight. Then we're gonna pull info from the students and teachers so we can know where to strike for the next attack. Midoriya explained once more. Kind of a dumb idea, breaking into the top hero school in Japan. You shrug, setting Bakugou and Midoriya's plate in front of them. Ha! What are you talking about? That shit's totally foolproof. Bakugou put his hands behind his head, smirking proudly. That is until you get caught for being a loudmouth. Todoroki cuts in, setting a glass of orange juice next to you. You grinned at him and he smiled back sweetly. Fuck you, Icy Hot! Bakugou grumbled, sitting up and picking up his chopsticks. You would. You would. You would. You, Midoriya, and Todoroki all say in unison, causing shameless laughter to ring out as Bakugou flushed and began to rage at you all. You and these boys were roommates, sharing a 3-bedroom apartment for the last 2 years. It had been fairly easy. You were on the down low. Being quirkless, you didn't draw attention to yourself. You didn't find their villainy to be an issue. As long as they didn't drag work home with them, or destroy the place, you were good with whatever. Well, I hope you guys have fun with that, just don't get caught. You warned, waving at them all with a fork. I'd kill myself before being sent to jail. Katsuki smirked. All you need to do is put your fist in your mouth and set the fucking thing off. That would be quite the light show. Todoroki nodded, making Bakugou growl loudly. You kicked Todoroki under the table, making him wince. As usual, don't bring this shit home with you, you said, picking up the empty plates and taking them to the sink. If you had a quirk, it would definitely be cleaning up the mess that these boys made. Yeah. Have fun being alone. Bakugou snickered. Better than listening to your incessant screaming. The blonde couldn't catch a break today. You were very concerned when you got a phone call from the police station. The dispatcher said it was important, so you had no choice but to go since you were never one to run from something you didn't even know about. You pulled into the parking lot and stepped out of the car. Gripping the straps of your purse tightly, you opened the door and walked in, your heels clicking against the tiles as you walked up to the desk. Can I help you? Hi, I'm here for... something. I'm not sure, you stated, rubbing the back of your head both nervously and sheepishly. The woman typed a few things into the computer and nodded. Please enter room 408 for a meeting with Detective Midoriya, down the hall to the left, the girl said simply. You started to sweat. Of course, thank you, you said quickly, bowing before turning to follow the instructions. Fuck, I'm so screwed. You knocked on the door, hearing a small, come in, before you actually opened it. You walked in, seeing a woman with shoulder-length brown hair, blue eyes, and gold-rimmed glasses that made her eyes pop. A large mug filled with what looked to be coffee creamer. You could smell it from where you stood. In fact, the whole room reeked of Starbucks. She stared at you, a sour expression visiting her features. Please have a seat, miss. She gestured to the chair in front of her. You smiled. Well, she seems friendly. You do as asked and take a seat. She speaks into an earpiece that she was wearing. Please bring in subjects 4, 5, and 6 to room 408. That was all she said before the two of you sat in awkward silence. She sipped from the mug in front of her, shooting an icy glance your way. The door busted open with 2 guys holding babies? They sat down in the 2 seats next to Detective Midoriya and your jaw dropped. You stared at the 3 sleeping children on the man's chest, 2 strapped to the bigger one. Fluffy green hair and freckles on the left with a half-and-half baby on the right. The smaller man held an ashy blonde baby who was drooling in his sleep. We found your children in the latest villain attack, Midoriya stated a bit softer, like an understanding mother. We knew you must have been worried, so we gave you a call. How the hell did they get my number? Your number was on this boy's thigh, the older man said, pointing to what you assumed was Midoriya in that little form of his. Yes, I was frightened that I couldn't find them. I was so upset. You started reaching over to rub Shoto's cheek. Midoriya smiled and tilted her head to the side. I'm glad we found them. We'll get the paperwork for their release, and then they're all yours, she promised with a gorgeous smile. Hey, can you please leave Katsuki here? You asked suddenly as they stood up. They all raised a confused brow. The blonde one, you state, pointing at your child. The smaller man smiled and took Katsuki out of the sling on his chest and delicately handed him over. You took him with a smile and pressed your face into his puffy hair. He squirmed a bit, beginning to wake up, and the detectives left the room. You pulled his tiny body from you and frowned. What the hell did you people do? Were you really babies? You grumbled, holding him up as he began to squirm from his nap. He began to cry loudly, and you brought him back to your body, shushing him with a panic racing through your body. Good fucking God! My head is pounding. Where the fuck am I? Katsuki, please don't tell me you're a baby. You begged, swaying side to side. You bitch! What the fuck did you do? His mind raced, and all that came out were incoherent garbles. Tears sprang. He couldn't talk to you. He couldn't talk at you. He couldn't blow up. He began to cry more, pressing his face into your boobs, holding on to you and clawing at your shirt as tears, snot, and drool red on his face. Bakugou, please don't cry, you begged. Katsuki, you whined, holding him as his hands fisted as he tugged at you. He was raging into you, beating on your chest with weak hits and harsh sobbing. You just rubbed his back and let him down as the thing you signed with paperwork. Todoroki and Midoriya were catatonic in the back seat of your vehicle, while you held Katsuki to your chest and drove to the store. Now you had to get supplies. It was kind of a hassle to hold 2 sleeping beauty babies, and then a squirming one as you walked into the store. People were staring at you like you were a psychopath until you set all of them down in your shopping cart and panted. I hate you guys, you mumbled, standing up straight before pushing the cart into the baby section. You picked out random onesies and then tossed them into the cart, along with diapers and a few small toys. Bullshit. Such bullshit. You walked to the cash registers, picking up a bottle of whiskey on the way because Lord knows you're gonna need it. Now that the boys were respectfully clothed instead of wrapped in security blankets, you began to crack down on possible solutions to what may have happened. You guess is that they were turned into babies when they tried and failed to enter the school. Todoroki had woken up with a confused expression, and his sudden rage crying woke Midoriya up, so now you watched 3 of them cry and bang on the couch in anger and frustration. What's going on? Why is this happening? Hey! Hey! Todoroki's thoughts screamed. Your hands were on your hips, and you watched with an annoyed expression. You had already taken pictures. Those would be burned into your brain forever, and you would always keep them. Hell, you would fucking print them and put them around the apartment. You picked up baby Shoto and sat in his place, running your hands through his mismatched hair as he cried. Midoriya clambered on the couch to reach your side, and Bakugou smashed his face into the side of your breasts. Great. Another shirt ruined by copious amounts of body fluids. They all stopped crying after a little bit, soon enough. Just being in your presence was comforting to them. You rubbed Shoto's head, not missing how his scar had disappeared and he now had pale skin on his right side. You wondered if he would stay like that. You placed a Golden Age All Might tot in his hands while you pampered Shoto for a bit. If they were babies, then you could squish and play with them as you pleased. You spent 10 minutes kissing little Shoto's chubby cheeks and squeezing his soft hand in yours, kissing his little nose and forehead until Bakugou got tired of being left out and he began to paw at you neededly. God, you guys are so adorable. You giggle, blushing like a fool as Bakugou propped down on your other leg and squeezed your waist in hugs, though he was really trying his best to rip you in half. Fuck you, I'm not, Katsuki thought. He wished he could scream at you. You watched as Todoroki and Bakugou got into a scuffle over who got to have more affection, while Midoriya swooped in and latched onto your neck with his little arms and snuggled into you. When Bakugou fell over, he cried, and Todoroki started to cry too at the other noise, which, you guessed it, made Midoriya cry too. You took a big, healthy gulp of the alcohol you bought. You picked up the babies and dragged them to your room, laying them down in bed and leaving them to go to the kitchen. None of the boys liked you very much. You came back quickly with a bowl of ice cream. Seeing as how you completely forgot baby food, this was probably the only thing that they could eat. You sat on the bed and held a teaspoon and used to stir coffee. Holding up a small spoonful of vanilla goodness, they all stopped their fighting and stared at you. Todoroki took initiative and opened his mouth. You gave him the spoon, and he ate the sweet treat, humming before giggling at the cold. Bakugou shoved Midoriya one last time, and you looked at him with a scolding expression. He looked down before looking back up and opening his mouth apologetically. You placed the ice cream into his mouth, and he whimpered at the cold. You rubbed his little cheek with your thumb and he stopped immediately. The ice cream didn't go as fast since they all kind of pushed for another bite. You were able to squeeze in a few bites for yourself before Todoroki yawned and rubbed his blue eyes. Guess it's bedtime, huh? As if on cue, Midoriya flipped over on his back, his enlarged tummy from the ice cream heaving up and down as he slept. He would have looked dead if his stomach wasn't moving. You moved him over to the end of the bed, and Todoroki crawled to his own spot. You set the bowl on the side table and dragged Katsuki into your arms, laying him down next to you and laying on your back. Midoriya basically slept walk to your other side, and Todoroki clambered on top of your stomach and sprawled out. Well, no moving from this position then. I hope this all gets fixed, you said softly. You reached over the bed and turned the lights out, rubbing the boy's hair before falling asleep. I hope you guys enjoyed this little cute baby story of Todoroki, Bakugou, and Midoriya. If you made it this far, thank you and congratulations. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and leaving a like and a comment down below. Who is your favorite little baby here? But anyways, my name is Bizarre, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cue the outro.